Hey guys, it's Aussie here, and welcome to episode 8 of the Berlin Dynamo series here on FM24. Now, today's episode, we're going to be taking on Dortmund 2 for the first time, and then we're also going to verse Ingolstadt as well for a doubleheader. There are a few things I want to go over first. Let me just bring the camera down here as well. Obviously, at the moment, I'm covering the finances, which are really bad. We're almost 1.4 million in debt, and we're currently about 1,600 per week over our wage budget as well. However, the league table is what I want to sort of show you guys. Now, it's worth mentioning that the way things go, these second teams cannot get promoted. So, as you can see, Ingolstadt are in third. However, they have a green promotion sort of indication on them. So, if they finish in that position, they will actually get promoted. Same thing for Sandhausen, and then Dynamo Dresden would probably make that playoff based on the current position at the moment. Despite Gladbach 2 being top of the league, Dortmund 2 being in second position, and then Bayern being in fourth. So it's sort of weird the way that this league works. They can't actually get promoted into the two Bundesliga, which in theory is obviously a very good thing. But the reserve teams are still in a professional league in the three Liga. Now, as you can see, where we currently are, we're in 10th place, which isn't ideal. We've sort of been a little bit inconsistent since the last episode. But as you can see, we're about 6 points ahead of the relegation zone there. So we're doing all right. There are a few games that I think we should have won between last episode and this episode. We'll go into those fixtures now. Of course, the previous episode was the double win over 1860 Munich and Ulm as well. We followed that up with a 3-1 loss to Duisburg. Pretty tough loss to take, actually. As you can see, we opened the scoring through Božović. They got one back. Then we had a disallowed goal for offside for Bukjans. And they got two more goals. And as you can see, Chateau, Liebelt, Muller, our defenses played pretty terribly. And they did dominate us. So, 19 shots with 10 on target, 3.22 XG there for Duisburg. And yeah, they deserve to win. The next game is probably my most angry I've been so far this season. We lost 6-2 to Victoria Cologne. And I don't really think we deserve to lose. As you can see, Mikkel with a 6.0 in goals. Again, another terrible defensive display. It was 3-0 up in the 31st minute, so we were struggling pretty much from the get-go, and that sort of continued. We got one goal back through Jublovic, and then Božović got one back in the 89th minute. But even getting that 89th minute goal, they then scored another goal in the 92nd. So, yeah, it was pretty terrible. Anyway, we did bounce back in that next game, and we managed to get a 2-1 victory over Elversberg. A better performance. Again, still the defense not looking too solid, conceding a goal. We got lucky. As you can see, Božović and Seebeck getting our goals there. Another really good performance there by Jublovic. But yeah, they got a penalty. But then again, they sort of looked like the more dangerous side, if that makes sense. It was very equal. But the fact that we scored 2 goals from 3 shots on target should sort of explain how bad we were looking at that stage. Anyway, the next game was a 5-1 victory over Lübeck. And we came out scoring in this one, which was good to see. And as you can see, the defense played better. 6.9s, 7.4 for Rakale, and then Mikkel in goal getting a 6.9 as well. Much more clinical, very, I want to say solid at the back, but we still conceded one goal. from 3 shots on target. So that was a little bit disappointing. But as you can see, Gudra, Akale, Susek, Uzan with a penalty, and Bojovic again with an Anor assist. So good for him. He's in a tutoring group at the moment, Daniel Anor, trying to maybe get his stats up a little bit. He's now sort of got a star rating for Shadow Striker, which is good. And yeah, hopefully he can actually develop into something. Sort of our first real youth prospect we've had through. The next game was probably the second most angry I've been so far this season, as we lost 1-0 at home to Oldenburg. Now, Oldenburg, before this game, had 5 points. And they were, I think, in second last place, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure they were in second last. As you can see, some absolutely terrible performances. Uzan with a 5.9 after missing a penalty. Super frustrating. And then just everyone else was pretty average. The defense was okay, but they conceded a goal from 2 shots on target. And I'm like, that's the reason why we lost. You know, the performers up top, they didn't score. They did nothing, which I'm frustrated about. But when the defense are conceding goals, you know, with a 50% strike rate, essentially, you know, every 2 shots, you know, they would essentially get a goal. So the fact they had 2 shots on target for 1 goal and we lost it's almost sort of unforgivable at that point. Anyway, the most recent game played was a 0-0 draw. I'll just quickly show you the stats on this one. Pretty boring, pretty even as well. We only had 1 shot on target, so again, another sort of lackluster display, especially up top. But at least the defense and the midfield played well, or at least well enough for us not to concede a goal, which did happen in that previous game. So let me bring the camera back up at the top here, and we will get into today's lineup for Dortmund 2. So I'm going to go, I think with this lineup, I want to try Leader in the center of defense here. I played him a little bit at right back as well when Akale picked up his injury. And yeah, I think we're going to run with this for now. So Mikkel in goals, Akale right back, Chateau and Leader center halves. Muller's gonna stay at left back. He's been pretty lackluster at times, Muller, this season. And then other times he's been okay. So it's very inconsistent. Gudra is going to start as our playmaker. Seebeck box to box. Amadin comes back in. He's not currently match fit, but I just can't play Uzan anymore. He not only has been missing penalties, but he's been putting in some terrible performances. So Amadin comes back in. We'll try and get him match fit going into that second game. Jublovic will be our shadow striker. Susek, who's had a good season, has gone a little bit quiet, and then Bojovic up top, who has been a little bit quiet himself, hasn't really scored a goal. The bench today is pretty much the bench that it always is, so I won't go into them. You guys roughly know who's on the bench. If they're not in the first team, they're likely on the bench if they mean anything to the team. So let's get the boys out there. Borussia Dortmund's second team reserve squad, full of exciting, talented young players as well, should be said. And they are doing very well in the league, so it's going to be a very tough game. But hopefully we can become a little bit more consistent and hopefully sort of push on, because we're in November now, or I think we're at the end of November now. So we're almost going into that next part of the season, that second half. And that is a bad way to start. Opening goal in the first minute of the game. And encourage the boys. That's pretty terrible. One shot on target, 1 goal, and we are where we are already. Despite seemingly starting the better of the two teams, which is very strange. All right, Akale to Amadin. Can Akale get a cross in? Yes, he can. It's a terrible cross, though. Cleared away. We do win it back, though. Seebeck. Muller. Oh, that's a good cross along the floor. And that's Bojovic, who, like I said, has not scored in a little while. So very, very happy that he's back on the score sheet there. Very, very nice move there. And I sort of talked about Muller when I was reading through the lineup. If he can do that on a more consistent basis, then we'll be laughing. We'll be laughing straight to the goals and assist bank, really. Good tackle there by Bojovic. Susek now. A big touch. Beats his man. Oh, what a goal! Susek, take a bow, son. That might be goal of the season, to be honest. I thought he had a bit of a how you going touch that I thought the defender might have been able to get. Then absolutely skinned him. Wow. That was totally unexpected there. Fair play to him. And we go into halftime with the lead as well. That was a solid goal. My man. All right. It needs to continue, though. Looks like Dresden are losing at the moment. Our Dynamo brethren. All right, we're at 70 minutes in. We've got a free kick. I'm going to quickly pause it there so you guys don't miss it. And then I think we'll go for Stark. Swap him on for Seebeck. I was going to take Jublovic off, but I don't know. He's not really lacking stamina, and I think he's good enough to stay on the pitch. So I think we'll just make the one change. We'll ease Susek and Akale off on tackles. Just try and make sure that we don't pick up a second yellow. Gudra now taking the ball forward. Nice little ball to Akale, who shoots with his left foot and gets in the back of the net. Akale. I don't know what he's doing in the sort of center of the box there, seeing as he's a right wing back, but we will take that. Saying that, Akale is actually... He's a little bit tired out there. Might take him off for the last 10. And we'll go with... Huther. And then I'll bring Stark back to right back. And I think we'll do it that way. We're 3-1 up at the moment. I really don't want to concede another goal, and that's terrible there by Dortmund. Come on, boys. This would be a massive win. We seem to perform on camera. I like it. All right, come on, boys. Stay tight. There we go. Oh, got to be doing better with that. Susek with a challenge in the box on a yellow card. That's a good goal. That's a good goal for Semic for Dortmund there. 90th minute as well, but that was a beautiful little left-footed shot into the bottom corner. Can we hold on? The answer is yes. 3-2 victory over Borussia Dortmund 2. Lovely performance. Maybe not the best sort of defensive display, but as you can see, they're in second place, and we just took 3 points off them. So very happy with that. Bumps us up into 7th place. And when I say that, we have 3 reserve teams above us. We're 1 position away from that playoff spot. So we're doing really, really well this season, as far as this league goes, I feel like this league is actually going to be pretty easy to actually get out of now that we're here and I've sort of, I guess, understood the rules a little bit more. If we go up to 2 Bundesliga, like I said, there are no second teams there. So that is why, I think we actually might be within sort of a potential chance of getting promoted even this season, which I didn't really expect. We are 9 days away from that next game, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut to that and we'll get into the lineup for Ingolstadt. Alright, so just before we get into the lineup for Ingolstadt, I just wanted to show you this when I was going between games. Our youth intake for this season, and it looks absolutely dreadful. 1.5 star below average intake, and apparently we've got a D-rated fullback. So, yeah, it should be interesting. Again, those can be a little bit skewed. I guess I really shouldn't expect, maybe is probably the right word, to get any sort of real youth prospects, and sort of Anor might have been a little bit of a lucky pull, shall we say. As you can see, we've got fairly basic academy coaching and basic youth recruitment. So the level of youth players coming into our first team, it's probably going to be pretty dreadful. Anyway, so this is actually a massive game in the grand scheme of things. As you can see, a lot of other teams have actually played their 18th game, whereas we're still in our 17th, which is why we've sort of dropped down from 7th back to 10th. But if we win here today over Ingolstadt, we'll roughly be back in 7th place on the same amount of points as Ingolstadt, who are currently in that 5th place, hugging that playoff promotion spot. So massive game here today, and I'm very, very happy to actually be bringing that to you. Another thing before we mention the lineup today, I did sell Stockinger. He's been sort of kicking up a bit of a stink recently, which has been very, very frustrating for me. And he's going to join Osnabrück. 39 or 38,000, I think the transfer was. Yeah, 38k there. It's okay. He hasn't really played this season. We got better options in Stark as well, who's a very, very similar player, but just a bit more technical, and probably more of a 3-leaguer player. Whereas what's his name? Whereas Stockinger is more of maybe a regional leaguer player. I know he's going to another 3-leaguer team. I just don't think he's really going to be getting all that much playing time. So perfectly fine for him to leave. I didn't want him kicking up any more of a stink. We have a few changes from last game. Leader picked up a yellow card suspension. Susek also picking up a yellow card suspension. So we're a little bit under strength at the moment. As a result of that, Pelivan's come back in as one of our centre halves, and then Molina has been moved into that left wing spot. And again, he's technically not match fit either, but he's a right-footed winger, so we'll see how he does out there. The rest of the lineup's exactly the same, so let's get into it. Also worth mentioning, Anor is going to be on the bench again today. He wasn't actually in that last game. I think he played for the under-18s, which was why I couldn't put him on the bench. But he's there today, so he might get a 20-minute run out, depending on if we're in the lead or not, really. It's I don't want to be bringing him on if we're sort of chasing a goal or anything like that. I don't want to be bringing him on just for the sake of bringing him on. I want to bring him on when we're, God damn it, when we're a little bit more comfortable. And we've conceded another early goal there, the 8th minute of the game, and it's their first bloody shot on target. I'm getting really sick of this because we're conceding these first goals in this fashion, and then we're having it all to do, and we're having to make a comeback. And we're just you know, massively disadvantaging ourselves. Albeit Ingolstadt, they're a good team. They're one of the better teams in the league, so we need to definitely try and get that goal back as soon as we can. I really don't want to go into halftime. We haven't even had a shot on target yet. Yeah, that's frustrating. That's very frustrating. Amadin's on a 6-1. It's going to demand more. We haven't had a shot on target yet. This is ridiculous. Bramberger. I mean, they almost seem like they're playing with us at the moment. A good save there by Mikkel. They're still coming forward. All right. Somehow we managed to keep that out of the back of the net. I mean, Mikkel's actually playing pretty well, despite conceding that first shot on target. The rest of the team, however, is playing absolutely dreadfully. And it's frustrating me massively. Seebeck's going to come off for Stark. We'll get Uzan on there for Amadin. That's bloody ridiculous. He's on a 6 match rating. That's just so frustrating. We haven't even had a highlight yet, so I don't even feel like we're almost in this game. There we go. All right, we're going to get the ball here. Molina's on an injury. Jublovic, finish please, mate. Yes! Oh, I thought that was going in. It's a good save. Jublovic with the corner. Gudra tracing back. An option, Pelivan in the middle. Probably not the person I want getting the ball in that position. All right, we're gonna take Molina off as well. He's on an injury. Don't really have anyone else to bring on, if I'm being honest. Anna was coming on. Okay, there we go. Anna was coming on. Molina's actually picked up a proper injury because I didn't take him off in time. Who knows? Maybe Anor could be the breakthrough to get us that equaliser. Big opportunity for the 16-year-old. Albeit time's ticking away and we haven't really done anything. So I'll demand more for the last couple of minutes, but that is going to be a 1-0 loss. Okay, that was a terrible game. That was absolutely dreadful. I mean, Gudra and Mikkel, literally the only two players that turned up today. And Mikkel, I don't know if it's Mikkel or Mikkel. Mikkel has essentially, I wanted to say, sort of kept us in that game. He has kept us in that game, but we've just once again had absolutely nothing going forward. I think we are lacking just that little bit of extra quality to push us up into that position. And with that, Ingolstadt actually go into third, which is that top promotion spot. Luckily, not a big injury there for Molina either. And it goes from bad to worse because we've got FC Bayern. So Bayern Munich up next, their reserve team. And again, that's actually another big game because we're 2 points behind them. So if you want to keep trying to progress up the league, we're going to have to be beating teams like Bayern Munich too. Anyways, guys, that is going to wrap up the episode. Thank you very much for watching. Drop a like on the video. We're doing well this season. Again, I just wanted sort of mid-table. I'm very happy with where we are. And I did expect the results to be pretty inconsistent, which I think they are. You know, we got a couple of wins in there, and then you get a loss or a draw or a couple of losses, and then we win again or we win 2 in a row. It's what you sort of expect for a team that's just been promoted but has strengthened the team quite a bit, if that makes sense. Anyways, that's going to be it from me, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. Hit the notification bell, and the next episode will pop up on your screen. It should already be popped up. Apart from that, guys, as always, take it easy and goodbye.